Respected HOD of our Civil Engineering Department, Dr. Sunil G. Kirloskar sir, our presenters for today's session, who are our VCET Civil Engineering alumni, dear fellow colleagues, participants of the program, and the viewers out there, a very good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of the entire Civil Engineering Department, I, Mrs. Pooja Kadam, Assistant Professor from Civil Engineering Department, welcome each one of you for today's session, which is on preparation of various competitive exams. A competitive exam is not an easy task, and nobody is born intelligent. It is necessary to hone the skills, and with improved practice, an individual is able to secure a position in any competitive exam. Be it any type of the exam, tricks and tips are needed to be followed to increase the probability of cracking the examination. Before the students start to prepare for the exam, they have to understand the prerequisite in cracking the same. So to know more about it, here we come with our today's session, which is on preparation of various competitive exams by three of our presenters who are our VCET Civil Engineering Department distinguished alumni, namely Darshak Sureja, who is admitted into International Management Institute, New Delhi. Ashutosh Lopes, who is doing Project Engineering Management at NICMAR, Pune. Nishant Sawant, who is doing Masters of Urban Transport System, that is Transport Planning at CEPT, Gujarat. So, starting with our first presenter of today's session, Darshak Sureja. He is a B Civil pass out from VCET in the year 2018 with CGPI of 9.48. He has cleared CAT exam in the year 2019. He is being admitted into International Management Institute, New Delhi. Apart from all this, he is a very bright student and a sincere as well. He was the GS of the college in the year 2018 and was also awarded with the Best Outgoing Student Award. We would like to hear a lot more interesting things from you, Darshak. So here on the platform is all yours. Darshak, your audio is not audible.
Thank you so much, Pooja ma'am, for that kind introduction. Good evening, folks. Hope you all are keeping well and safe. Before I actually begin with this session or even introduce myself, I have three disclaimers to be made. Disclaimer number three, when I received this request of addressing you folks for this student development program, I was deeply honored and a little astonished because I haven't achieved anything sizable, nor are my accomplishments at par with the presenters that you might have witnessed in the past 3 days or would be listening to in the future. I am just as ordinary as most of you out there, most of you because I assume that there are some extraordinary people out there. So do not have a lot of expectations from me. This was disclaimer number three. Disclaimer number two is out of all the presenters that you might see in the list that you might have received or the poster which was circulated, all of them, they themselves, their current work area, or even their ongoing field of study has some or the other links attached to civil engineering. However, that is not the case with me. So I'll get into the details of it shortly. And disclaimer number one, I beg for your attention for this span of 25 to 30 minutes. I have carefully curated this session and I will try to make it engaging yet enriching. Out of all of those who are listening to me, even if a mere 3 people or 2 or even 1 for that matter find this session or talk helpful or beneficial, I will consider my purpose to be fulfilled. Do let me know if you like this session. You can take my contact from Pujana. So yeah, these were my disclaimers and now I introduce myself. I am Darshak Sureja, a proud alum of Civil Engineering Department of Vidyavardhini's College of Engineering and Technology. I passed out in 2018. And I assume that a few of you all, if not everyone, might know me, especially the 3rd and 4th year students. Not that I was a very popular face in college or something like that, but yeah. So yes, so during my engineering days, apart from academics, I had an avid interest in co and extracurricular activities. I have been the technical head of Civil Engineering Students Association and have been the part of Students Council for all the 4 years. I've held the position of General Secretary for the college. I've been awarded with the Tata Education Scholarship and was also bestowed upon with the Best Outgoing Student Award for the year 2018. I'm currently working as a systems engineer in Infosys Limited. It has been close to 2 years since I'm associated with Infosys. And yes, that was pretty much about me. Now you might be wondering as to why is the systems engineer from Infosys invited to deliver a session on competitive exams. So here I cite my reason. Give me a minute to share my screen. Okay, so I have cleared CAT 2019 and I've been offered admission into International Management Institute, New Delhi, Institute of Management Technology, Ghaziabad, KJ Somaiya Institute of Management Studies and Research, Mumbai, and I'm still awaiting result for Vinod Gupta School of Management, which is the management wing of IIT Kharagpur. For your information, all of these colleges that I mentioned are amongst the top 15 to 30 business schools in India. So yes, that is the reason I've been invited to deliver a session on MBA. So the first question that would be bubbling in your mind would be, why should you do an MBA? So after investing 4 valuable years of your life into learning forces and dynamics, into learning structures and materials, cantilevers and concrete, now why should I do an MBA, and that too in a field which has nothing to do with civil engineering? So an MBA would probably why should you do an MBA? So the first reason, before giving my reason, I would like to say that Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, that is IIM Ahmedabad, is also known as well-known Institute of Management. JBIMS Mumbai, which is Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, is also known as a CEO factory. And FMS Delhi, that is Faculty of Management Studies Delhi, is also known as the Red Building of Dreams. Why is that so? That is because these premier B schools are having a legacy of producing outstanding managers, of dispensing world-class leaders and assuring prosperity. If I have to put figures into place, the average salary of an IIM Ahmedabad graduate is nearly 27 lakhs per annum. And the highest reaches the mark of around 70 to 72 lakhs per annum. Let me give you a more realistic example. So I have been offered admission into IMI New Delhi. So if you are an IMI New Delhi graduate, the average salary which would range somewhere around 13 to 14 lakhs per annum, and the highest would be somewhere around 25 lakhs per annum. Having said that, I would want to make a point that this should definitely not be the reason for you pursuing an MBA. If you allow me, I would want to stop sharing my screen because there's nothing substantial on it. So why should you pursue an MBA then if salaries are not the reason? You should pursue an MBA if you want to explore and expand your potential as a leader. You should pursue an MBA if you think that if groomed enough and properly, you could be a perfect fit for a manager's sport. If your interest lies in subjects like marketing, finance, human resources, strategy, consulting, statistics, etc., you should pursue an MBA if leading multinational workforces, communicating with stakeholders, developing creative solutions to business issues, and driving innovations through business practice would satisfy you. And when I say satisfy you, I don't mean satisfy your pockets, I mean satisfy your inner self. If you are interested and passionate about it, MBA will offer you the right springboard for a successful leap into your career. I would want to give you a small advice. Don't pursue titles and dollars. Pursue your passion, and the titles and dollars will take care of themselves. That being said, India is home to more than 3,000 business schools offering the MBA program. A significant number of these schools boast of offering great quality of education and great placements. But believe me when I say most of these boastful claims are just that, boasts without any basis of facts. An MBA, even if you do it from a top business school, only then would give you a bright career. Now, which are the exams that you need to write in order to pursue an MBA? So the most famous or renowned exam is CAT, which is the full form is Common Aptitude Test, which is accepted by IIMs, IITs, and a majority of MBA colleges across India. Then comes XAT, which is Xavier's Aptitude Test, which is accepted by Xavier's group of colleges, SP Jain. It is accepted by IMT, MICA, KG Somaiya, etc. Then is NMAT, which is Narsi Monji Aptitude Test, which is predominantly accepted by NMIMS University. We also have SNAP, which is predominantly accepted by Symbiosis International University, and there are some really good colleges like SIBM Pune and SCMHRD. IAFT, which is accepted by Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, which is in New Delhi. And you have MHTCT, which is accepted by MBA colleges in Maharashtra, including JBIMS, Sidnam, KG Somaiya, Wellinkar, etc. So JBIMS, what I was talking about, is a CEO factory and is one of the very well-known colleges in Mumbai. Sidnam follows the league. So these are the exams which you need to write in order to pursue an MBA. Not just these, there are several other exams as well, which are MyCat, TISNET, and IRMASAT. So I have not included every one of them. You may go and Google which are the various exams, and depending upon the colleges that you want to apply, you can write these exams. However, CAT is the predominant exam out of these and is accepted by most of the colleges in India. So now we would talk about CAT because I have cleared CAT 2019 and my knowledge is limited to CAT. Also, although I've written a few other exams, and I would tell you a few tips about that too at the later stage. So what is the eligibility criteria for CAT? So the first eligibility criteria is you need to have a bachelor's degree from a university which is recognized by MHRD, AICTE, or UGC, which is University Grant Commission. So this you need not worry about. Most of you all might fulfill this criteria. The second criteria is minimum marks in graduation. So you require a 50% of marks if you are from general or NCOBC category, and a 45% marks if you belong to any reserved category. And the third criteria is the final year students are also eligible to write CAT. So students who are in their final year of bachelor's degree or equivalent are also eligible to write CAT. There are several other eligibility criteria which are not of prime importance. However, you may have a look at them. Now, what is CAT actually about? So what are the sections that you have to attempt in CAT? So there are three major sections in CAT. The first being VARC, which is verbal ability and reading comprehension. Then is DILR, which is data interpretation and logical reasoning. And finally, we have QA, which is quantitative ability. So these are the three sections that you will face in a CAT exam. And entirely, CAT consists of 100 questions, which are bifurcated as 34 questions out of VARC, 32 questions from DILR, and 34 questions from QA. And you will have 60 minutes to attempt all of these sections. So you cannot switch between the sections in CAT. You will be first exposed to the VARC section, and you will have to attempt that section in 60 minutes. Then the timer would automatically move to 0 again, and you will have the questions from DILR section, 32 questions which need to be attempted and in 60 minutes again. And then finally, you'll have the QA section. You'll have 34 questions and 60 minutes to attempt them. So I will give you an example. If you happen to complete all the 34 questions of VARC in, say, 40 minutes, and you're left with 20 minutes, those 20 minutes cannot be utilized for DILR or QA section. You will have fixed 60 minutes to write the VARC section, followed by DILR and QA. So that is it. Now I would want to give you a few quick tips about how to crack CAT. So all this information that I give you prior to this slide were something that you can easily find on Google. Even if you simply type CAT on Google, you'll get all the relevant information for it. So I do not want to invest much time into actually explaining you all what is the eligibility criteria, what is the syllabus, and what are the topics that you need to study for CAT. All of these information you can easily get on Google. I would want to indulge more into kind of conversation where you actually learn from my learnings or my experience out of this process of attempting CAT. So here is the time when I actually share my experience, my tips as to what you need to do to crack the CAT exam. And I would want to stop sharing my screen again. Um, so yeah, so the first tip that I want to give is leave no concepts unturned. Uh, do not commit the mistake of preparing only for selected topics based on what has come in the past few years or based on your comfort level. I remember when we were in engineering days, we used to have something called as easy solutions, which used to have solutions to all the past question papers. There is nothing like that in CAT. The CAT and all the other management exams have a knack of being highly unpredictable. Questions from topics which haven't appeared in the test for several years may make an appearance in this year's test, and in such case, it is important to prepare for all the test areas. I will give you a quick example. So coordinate geometry is one of the topics which does not have a frequent appearance in the CAT exam. There are hardly any questions that come from coordinate geometry, but there was one year when there were 6 questions out of 34 questions that came from coordinate geometry. And 6 questions can take you from a mere 65 percentile to 99 percentile in quantitative ability. So that is the level of unpredictability that CAT holds, or for any other exam for that matter. So you need to study in breadth apart from studying in depth. So you need to know all the concepts that are present in the syllabus. The second tip that I want to give you is more mock tests, the merrier. So taking mock tests on a regular basis, followed by thorough and honest analysis of one's performance, will greatly help in streamlining the preparation effort through course correction. It's okay if you score a bit low or even considerably low in a few initial tests. I scored a mere 70 to 75 percentile in a few mocks. For me, it was here where I learned that failure teaches you much more than success. For me, every bad test and every mistake were a learning that it was never to be repeated again. So please do attempt as many mocks as you can. The third tip that I want to give you is hard work beats talent. I've seen people who scored 53 percentile in their first CAT attempt and 99 percentile in the next one. And the only difference was the hard work that they invested into their preparation. Taking a football analogy, to be ready for a 90-minute match, you must practice for 180. If you think reading is your problem, read for long durations. If solving is your problem, solve for long times. Practice makes perfect, and believe me, there's no better exam than CAT to test this. Keep in mind, the success is sweet, but its secret is sweat. The next tip is drop your ego and move on. Do not spend more than 30 to 45 seconds on a question at the first glance. If you think a question is going to take more than 2 minutes for you to solve it, leave it and move on. You can come back and solve it once you have glanced through all the questions at least once. Attempt all the easy questions at first, move to the moderate questions during your second round, and keep the difficult questions for the end. This is the strategy that I followed while attempting CAT, and that is highly beneficial, I would say. The next tip that I want to give you is blind guesswork is a big no. I do not know if how many of you have attempted the JE exam. So in JE exam, we had negative marking. For every right answer, you get +4, and for every wrong one, you get -1. The risk is even more in CAT, because for every right answer, you get +3. For every wrong, you get -1. So it is almost 33% of the marks that would be deducted for every wrong answer. So blind guesswork has been a bane for many test takers. Negative marks, often the result of blind guesswork, end up eating the marks that you gained through correct answers. However, if you can eliminate 2 to 3 choices out of 4 or 5 choices, you may then consider making an informed guess. But for that instinct to work or to be able to make an informed guess, you need to be well prepared. Remember, the fortune favors the prepared much more than it does the brave. And lastly, I would want to say that if you don't have a plan B, make one. In case of exams, plan B would relate to taking multiple tests. Along with CAT, also consider giving exams like XAT, SNAP, TISNET, NMET, IIFT, etc. So in spite of putting a lot of efforts, practicing everything and studying the entire syllabus, it might happen that you are not able to perform on the detail. So it is always better to have a second plan to attempt many number of exams, so that even if it happens that you could not perform to your best potential in CAT, you will always have a second option, and you can attempt or apply to those colleges which accept those exams. So these were my tips to crack CAT. And now let me quickly tell you that CAT is just half the battle won. So does that mean that if you have cleared CAT with a very good percentile, say about 90 or so, you will surely get admission into one of the finest business schools in India? No, that is not a guarantee. CAT holds a weightage of around 50 to 60 percentile when it comes to securing admission into colleges, and that too is on average. There are some colleges which give weightage to CAT, a mere 20% weightage to CAT, or just 30 to 35% weightage to CAT. And there are some colleges which give weightage 70 to 75% to CAT. That depends from college to college. But if we consider on an average, the weightage which is given to CAT score is around 50 to 60%. And the rest depends on the interviews, the group exercise or group discussion that would follow, or the returnability test, depending upon the college. So what is the college's selection procedure? So when you write CAT, you are automatically applying to all the IIMs. So you need not differently apply to IIMs. However, if you want to apply to any other colleges except IIMs, you will have to differently apply for them. So once you separately apply to all the colleges that you intend to take admission into and the IIMs that you have automatically applied for, depending upon your CAT score, your past academics, I mean 10th, 12th, and graduation scores, depending upon your work experiences, that is the number of years that you have worked for an organization, the gender diversity, whether you are a female or a male or a transgender, and your co and extracurricular activities, you will be shortlisted for the second round of admission. So all the other, as I said, all the colleges have different weightages for all these parameters, and depending upon the cumulative marks that they calculate, they will roll out the shortlist for the second stage of their admission process. So once you receive the calls from these colleges, for example, I had applied to say IMI Delhi, IMT Ghaziabad, and KG Sumaya. So I had received the calls from all of these three colleges that have been shortlisted for the first round, and I can apply for the second round. So the second round is usually GDPI. That is, the colleges may ask you to write an essay on a topic which is given, then followed by a group discussion or a group exercise, and finally the personal interview. So what is return ability test? So return ability test is nothing but an essay that you need to write on a topic which is given to you. So let me share my example or my experience out here. So when I went to IMT Ghaziabad, the topic which was given to me was that the ethics that are followed in company in India is a mere myth. That they mean to say that the ethics are not actually solidly followed in Indian companies. And when you write an essay, you have to actually introduce the topic, write a few points in favor of the topic, write a few points against it, and finally summarize what you mean to say out of that entire essay. So this is the usual framework that I followed. However, you may have your own framework. And when I went to IIT Kharagpur, the topic which was given to me was the robots would be the future of humans. So robots would be the future of humans. This was the topic that was given to me, and I had to write on it. So that is what is entirely about returnability test. Now, what is group discussion or group exercise? So group discussion is you'll have a panel of 10 to 15 candidates who would be sitting along with you. And you will have 2 to 3 panelists who would be judging you on your group discussion. You'll be given a topic or a case study, and you have to read it in say 3 to 4 minutes, and then you have to discuss on it. So the topics could be from current affairs, the topics could be from day-to-day life, or the topics could even be abstract, as bizarre as a line is a dot that went for a walk, or say red is no more red nowadays, or say green or red, or simply a topic saying a single word topic like zero or infinity. So any topic could be given to you, which like puts a pressure on your brain and puts your gray cell into work. So you have to think over the topic, come up with points which are actually important and would make an impact when you place them. and come up with topics which are out of the box. The conventional points would already be raised by some of the candidates. However, if you can put your mind into thinking something that the others could not think of, that would actually make or break the situation for you. Then is group exercise. So what is group exercise? Some colleges have group discussions, some colleges prefer to have group exercise. In group exercise, you would be given a case study or a kind of a business model or a scenario, and you need to brainstorm over that scenario and come up with the most feasible solution. So this is not an individual effort. You will have 10 to 15 people along with you. You need to discuss on the topic and then probably find out a best solution that could be employed so that we could come out of that problem which is mentioned in the scenario. So the panelists would have a constant eye on you. What are you discussing? How are you communicating with your fellow mates? And what is your contribution in actually coming down to the solution or the most possible solution? So they would constantly be having watch over you, and then probably out of the entire 30 to 40 minutes that they would provide you, your contribution would actually define your marks. And then finally your personal interview. So personal interview is the only way in which the interviewer knows you. So there could be any questions that could be asked in personal interview under the sun. So there is no predefined set of questions that you need to prepare or that you can actually go through so that you can perform well in interviews. However, there could be some questions that make a frequent appearance in the personal interview. You can definitely have your answers prepared for them, but you can never guarantee as to these are the set of questions out of which the questions would be asked. There could be any question under the sun. So I will give you a few examples as to what were the questions that were asked to me when I went for personal interview. So the first interview that I went for was IMT Ghaziabad. Over there, I was asked about my work experience, what I actually do at work. Apart from that, there was some recent controversy about Infosys. So what was that and what has Infosys done to rectify it? I was also asked about some abstract questions like problem solving. Is it an art or science? What is your take on it? And I was also asked about my hobbies and what I do to pursue it or keep myself engaged to it. When I went to IMI New Delhi, IMI New Delhi has this different pattern of having an extempore into their interview. So my extempore topic was my role model. I had to speak about my role model for 2 to 3 minutes. Apart from that, they also asked me as to what is important for a leader. Is it ethics, attitude, or the leadership skills? I had to prioritize these three parameters according to me. And they also asked me a few questions about current affairs as to what are the major imports of India and major exports. They also asked me who is the current chief minister of Maharashtra and was there any controversy regarding the Lok Sabha elections that were currently held. So these were more or less the questions. But when it came to IIT Kharagpur interview, that was completely different than all of these interviews. They completely asked me questions out of maths. So I was asked about matrices, what is orthogonal of a matrix, inverse of a matrix, transpose of a matrix, what is the result when a matrix is multiplied by its transpose. I was asked questions out of statistics as to what is the difference between normal distribution and a standard normal distribution, or how do you calculate a mean for a normal distribution. I was asked what is the agile approach which is followed in the IT corporates, what is regression testing, what is stress testing. So these were the questions that I was exposed to in IIT Kharagpur interview. So from this, you might know that there is no particular range of questions out of which you would face questions in personal interview. You might be asked about your name, about the city that you live in, what is peculiar about your city. You may also be asked what are the World Heritage sites which are located in your city, about the current affairs which are going on in and around you. So you need to be prepared with all of these things, particularly with the things that are there on your resume, that is your work experience, your engineering. Yes, in IIT Kharagpur interview, I was also asked what is a cantilever bridge and is there any example of cantilever bridge in India? So these are the questions that I was exposed to. So make sure that you prepare well about yourself, everything in and around you, and also make sure that whenever you answer a question, that is the hint that you give the interviewer to proceed with the next question. So if an interviewer asks me to introduce myself, whatever I mention in my introduction are the hints or the building blocks for the interview to proceed further. So always mention the things that you want to be asked further about. So if I want to mention about, say, I was the general secretary of the college, I should be prepared about the questions that would come up from that particular domain. Or if I say that I have appeared for these and these exams or have been offered these or these scholarships, I need to know that what were the subjects involved when I appeared for the exams for these scholarships, and also the basics of those subjects. So that was pretty much about personal interview. If any one of you have any further doubts about personal interview, you can definitely have a personal connect with me. You can drop me an email or even contact to me over WhatsApp. I will definitely be more than happy to help you. And depending upon all of this, that is your CAT score, your past academics, work experience, gender diversity, co and extracurricular activities, and your performance in the second stage of shortlist, that is in your returnability test, group discussion, and personal interview, you will be provided the final admission into a B school. So this is a rigorous process that you need to go through in order to acquire an admission into any of the business schools in India. Now, what is it that the interviewers look for? So these are the few pointers that would be actually looked for in a candidate when you go for your second level of shortlist. The first one is the good level of knowledge that you have of your engineering subjects, about your current work experience, etc., etc. Your clear understanding of core concepts. So mere memorizing the formulae or knowing the definitions would not help. They would definitely test you on the basics or the core concepts that you hold with you. Then the clarity of thought. Whenever you answer the questions, you need not answer them in a very haphazard manner. You need not have any hiccups while you answer your question. You need to be clear about your thought or what you want to articulate, and then particularly go ahead with it. Then your communication skills, how good you are with your grammar, your vocabulary, your choice of words, how well you can articulate your thought process. These are the things that might be looked upon. And then your personality. By personality, I do not mean how good looking you are. Then it is your overall personality, the way you speak, the way your demeanor is, the way you interact with the panelists or the interviewers, your attitude, and the way you react to situations. Sometimes you might be asked questions which actually do not have the answer. Sometimes you might be given questions which lack the actual data that you need to solve that questions. So these are the questions that are asked just to test your attitude or the way you react or respond to that question. You need not panic. It is okay to not know answers to a few questions. It is okay to apologize if you do not know even the basic of the questions from your engineering. That is okay, that is acceptable. But blind guessing or making answers which do not actually make sense, that is not something that would be expected out of you. And finally, the thought process in terms of career planning. You might be asked questions as to what are your plans 5 years from now or 10 years from now, or why do you want to do an MBA? So you need to have concrete answers for this. You can't simply say that I want to do an MBA because I want to have a greater salary ahead. Or you cannot say that 5 years down the line, I would be doing the job that the college will offer me or where I would be placed into. That would not be a potential answer for a candidate who would the interviewers look for to grant the admission. You need to have a concrete plan as to where is your interest lying, or you want to be an entrepreneur or venture into a business 5 years from now, or particularly you see yourself as a vice president, or at one particular post you want to be a business analyst or a senior consultant at so and so firm. This is the area where you want to work. You want to do consulting, you want to do human resources, you want to do finance. So your clarity of thought or your thought process in terms of career planning is one of the key attributes that the interviewers look for when you go for an interview. So having said that, I have more or less covered all the things that you need to know about CAT. And now I also have something for you all apart from this. So dear budding leaders, I would call you. Let me tell you that the most difficult part of your preparation for any competitive exam, I'm not here to endorse about CAT or MBA. beat any competitive exam, let alone CAT, is consistency. At times, it might feel daunting, pressurizing. To your way back home, your friend will tell you about the new Netflix series that released yesterday. A few other friends will tag you and send you some really, really interesting Instagram memes. And some of the most brilliant minds of the society would even tell you that the percentage on your scorecard could not define your future. Your parents will compare you to your elder siblings, especially the ones who are earning more than you, and every moment will remind you of the expectations that people have pinned on you and that you have set for yourself. You'll have enough reasons to quit. But whenever you feel like quitting, think about why you started. Remember, you are not alone. There are around 2.5 lakh CAT aspirants feeling the exact same emotions as you are. And while you might be casually sitting on your sofa comfortably, watching TV, scrolling through your Facebook feed, binge watching Money Heist, remember there'll be someone out there reading, practicing, and solving. Make a concerted, real, and true effort. The lives of the most successful people reveal that there is no single thing that causes success. Rather, it results from a combination of willingness to learn from failure, unending capacity of hard work, and above all, a sustained zeal for learning. So that was pretty much from my end. I thank you all for sparing me for this 20, 25, 30 minutes. And I am extremely grateful to the faculty members for providing me with this opportunity and considering me as one of the liable presenters to address this crowd. Thank you so much. And yes, I would now want to hand over the control back to Pooja.
Thank you so much, Darshak. It's a proud feeling to have a student like you. Every year, we give your example to our students, and I guess this will continue forever. Thank you so much. So, moving forward to our next presenter for today's session. Our next presenter for today's session is Ashutosh Lopes. Ashutosh is a BE Civil pass out from VCET in the year 2019 with CGPI of 6.89. He is doing now project engineering management at NICMAR, Pune. So moving towards his introduction, he was also the GS of our college in the year 2019. He is that humble student who is making room for progress now. You are still yet to achieve many things, but will definitely like to hear more from your experiences. Over to you, Ashutosh.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for the civil department for giving me this opportunity. I'll start off by sharing my slide. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. Uh, I'll start today's program, Students Development Program, which has been organized by my junior college faculty members. I'll talk about the preparation of NICMAR Common Entrance Test. NICMAR, first I'll explain the structure, then I'll go on with the introduction and that kind of stuff. So I'll explain the structure of the seminar. Firstly, I'll introduce myself, then I'll talk about NICMAR and what are the programs offered in NICMAR. Then I'll talk about the admission process in NICMAR, what are the eligibility criteria and how to prepare for those exams, entrance exams, which is NICMAR is going to undertake. I'll talk about the scholarship related to those entrance exam, and then I'll conclude myself. Then at the end, we'll start off with a questionnaire round. So as Pooja madam introduced me, like I'm Ashutosh Lopes. I've been graduated from Vidyavadini College of Engineering and Technology in the year 2019. And currently I'm pursuing my project engineering management in NICMAR, which is National Institute of Construction Management and Research in Pune. So I'll talk about, that's about myself. Then I'll talk about NICMAR. So NICMAR, National Institute of Construction Management and Research, is an unique and specialized institute in our country, which provides post-graduation training in construction projects, real estates, and infrastructure and allied areas in our country. These are the specialized areas which NICMAR has provide this post-graduation program. NICMAR has not affiliated with any of the government institute. It is a non-profit organization, and it is a non-profit organization. It is not affiliated with any of the government universities like Pune University or Hyderabad University. I'll say that NICMAR, there are 4 campuses all over the country in NICMAR campuses. Firstly, there is a main campus is in Pune. Then there's the campus is in Hyderabad. Then in Goa, Falgudi, and then in Delhi. These are the 4 campuses of NICMAR. NICMARs also offer a training program for various industry professionals. They also held a training program for Shapunji Palanji, also the L&T training professionals. They also offer these training programs to develop in their career as well for those experienced guys out there. Then I'll talk about the programs offered in NICMAR. The first program, which is Advancing Construction Management. These are the program for those who are really interested in construction management after your graduation can really opt for this process. This program is for civil engineers and architects out there. These both streams can apply for this program. Then I'll come, this is a project engineering management program. I'll explain the rest of the other programs, and explain this later and why I chose this program. Now there's this program, post-graduation program in real estate and urban infrastructure management. For those who have keen interest in real estate and want to do infrastructure management course after your graduation, can opt for this can opt for this program. Then there's infrastructure and finance development management. This is a management course related to the financing of infrastructure, right from selecting a vendor from the start till the handing over the project to the government or any company. The finances are taken into consideration and how all development is taken place of any infrastructure project is included in this program. Then there's a new program which NICMAR has started. This is a contemporary smart city development management program, which has been started recently. As we know that India, there's a various smart cities have been developed in India nowadays. So looking at those demand and looking at that consideration, NICMAR has introduced this course. And also now I'll talk about project engineering management and why I personally chose a project engineering management as my profession. So you might be heard that project managers are highly demanded in market, and the project engineering management is such a course that this program employs a multidisciplinary approach comprising of project management and system engineering, so that the project manager is ready to work at a variety of sectors. Means variety of sectors included like steel, oil and gas, and petroleum. In these projects, these sectors related to these projects, the project manager can work in these sectors. Means you have the opportunity to explore more rather than just your technical knowledge. And also the project managers are involved. After graduating from this course, you will be an assistant project manager, and also and after few years you will be definitely be at the position of project manager. So the project manager is that guy who is involved right from the initial stage to the final submission stage of the product, right from the opening and bidding of tender till the final submission of project. The project manager is the only guy who is involved in each and every operation in this project. So the various sectors which are included, like I talked about that steel, oil and gas, petrochemical, they employ these project managers in engineering, procurement and construction sector. Now, what is, you might heard about engineering and construction. Now, what really a procurement is? I'll explain that term. Procurement is obtaining something. Like if you are a project manager, I'll give an example to you. If you are a project manager and you have given a task of procurement of raw materials, you have given a task for procurement of raw materials from an organization. That procurement of raw materials is responsible for the manufacturing of your product, of your company's product. So right from procurement includes right from selecting the vendor, like then establishing a payment, then the negotiation and also the purchasing of goods. Right from start itself, you are given the task. That what a procurement is. Now, who all can apply for this project engineering management course? Uh, Graduates from mechanical, electrical, civil, chemical and other engineering stream can also join these programs, including architectures can also join this project engineering management if you are really interested in joining this program. Now I'll talk about admission process. Firstly, I'll talk about the eligibility criteria. Students required to secure 50% of aggregate marks at the graduation level. And there's the students interested in this admission in NICMAR has to first fill up the form online. The specific dates are given, are announced at around November itself, and the students have to fill the form online. The specific documents which is required has to be attached onto those forms, and the applications are then scrutinized according to the eligibility criteria. The applications are then scrutinized by the committee, the management committee of NICMAR, and then the candidates are sent an invite for this admission process through their mail IDs. Okay, so I'll talk about this three stage of admission process, which includes NCAT exam, which is NICMAR Common Admission Test exam. Then there is personal interview, then rating of application. I'll break down these three stages of the admission process. Now, firstly, there is NCAT exam. This NCAT exam will be consisting of 150 marks. This total exam is related to aptitude itself. Nothing other technical knowledge is tested, only the aptitude exams. The first part is of quantitative and analytical ability. There's a 60 marks is consist of this quantitative and analytical ability. Then there is a data interpretation, which 30 marks is included in data interpretation, and verbal and general ability will be of 60 marks. The total exam will be consisting of 150 marks. You will given a 3 hour of time period, and you have to complete that exam within those 3 hours itself. It will be a written exam. The exam will be like pen and paper exam. Then you will have then on that day itself you will have a personal interview of 50 marks. The question asked in there is a lot of questions that the questions asked in personal interview will be regarding to your job experience, will be regarding to your B project. There will be some HR questions as well. uh, HR questions such as introduce yourself, tell me about yourself, what your plan, why you want to join in NICMAR, why NICMAR. Then they'll focus on your technical skills as well, and they'll ask you about your favorite subject and questions related to your favorite subject. They'll ask in this personal interview. And if you are experienced guy, they'll focus is on your job experience. They'll ask question on your job experience itself. So then there is this rating of application. For those who don't know what rating of application really means, rating of application is on the basis of the weighted scores and cumulative academic performance, along with the work experience. Rating of application, the marks are awarded with an along with the sorry, the rating of application is calculated on the basis of the cumulative academic performance along with the work experience of yourself. Means the documents which you have submitted or the marks you have obtained in your graduation, on basis of that marks, the committee will decide how much rating marks you will get. So that this rating of application, the marks will be awarded by that committee. This marks is totally in hands of committee itself. Now I'll talk about the scholarship. Now the scholarship related to this NCAT exam. The top 5 students securing highest marks in NICMAR Common Entrance Test all over India will be awarded with the admission fee, tuition fee, and hostel fee. Means the total admission of NICMAR for those 5 students will be of free of cost. Means around 15 lakhs fees will be including the hostel fee, food fee, tuition fee, admission fee will be of free of cost. You have to just pay for your personal expenses. That's it. All the education and your accommodation fee will be included in this scholarship. There are certain terms and conditions to this scholarship. Like you have to maintain you have to maintain your attendance above 80% during the college hours. Also, you have to maintain your pointer above 8.5 in all the semesters exams. Then this scholarship will be awarded to you. Now, conclusion. I'll firstly conclude that NCAT is easy. Yes, definitely. NCAT is easy to crack other than the other competitive exams like GATE, UPSC, IPSC, IPS. This NCAT is very easy to crack. Then experienced students have more edge over than a fresher students in NICMAR. I'll give an example to this. Like there's an two students, one with an experience of 2 years and one with an as a fresher. Both are sitting for an interview, and they both perform in an interview, they both perform very well in that interview, so that the company has an option to choose between them, that the company would definitely go with the experienced one. So I would say that it's not like that. There are some companies that recruit only freshers, they doesn't give any chance to the experience, but there are companies who recruit both. The fresher students in NICMAR have to be uh, technically and communicatively strong than the experienced guys. Definitely, they have to be strong. They are competing with those experienced guys. So their technical knowledge and their communication knowledge will be tested periodically during these interviews. Then lastly, I've mentioned that have a clear vision. Have a clear vision about what you want to really, if you want to do NICMAR or, and you want to pursue those programs, which programs you want to go in. Do what your interest is in. So there are students, I'll say that I've seen students, there are students who do NICMAR for the sake of job itself. But the interest lies in different courses. Till graduation, I'll personally suggest that till graduation you have done that what your friends have done. Till graduation, you have done what your friend has told you to do. Till graduation, you have done what your family members have insisted you to do. And till graduation, you have done you have pursued the course which is highly demanded in market. Now you want to follow your passion, you want to follow your interest. It's high time now. If you want if you have doubt about yourself where your interest really lies in, you can consult to your faculty members, you can consult to your seniors, keep good touch with your seniors. And if you really want to know what where your interest lies in, ask question to your, take a sheet of paper, sit at one place, take a sheet of paper, ask question to yourself where your interest really lies in. If you get an answer, believe me, you have achieved 30% to the road of success. Next 70% will be totally depend upon your determination and your hard work to achieve that goal. So I would suggest that set some goals and set some objectives to that answer. And goals, don't set some bigger goals, set some small goals which you would achieve to, and those small goals will definitely lead to a bigger goal and a successful life ahead. I'll end up this seminar by quoting one of my favorite movie quote, which is of Three Idiots, saying that कामयाबी के पीछे मत भागो, काबिल बनो, कामयाबी तुम्हारे पीछे जरूर आएगी. So thank you, Pooja ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. There's a website of NICMAR. If you want to go through this website, you can definitely go through all the programs and through all the criteria, what are the subjects which are included in these programs and how these programs are really designed. You will get a detailed information through this website. And if you have any questions, queries related to this seminar, related to NICMAR, related to this NCAT exam, you can comment down. You can comment down in the comment section below. Thank you, Pooja ma'am, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. I would request you to stop sharing your screen. Okay, thank you so much, Ashutosh. You never knew your capabilities, but we always had confidence in them. You are unstoppable, so keep progressing. Thank you so much. Our next presenter for today's session is Nishant Sawant. Nishant is a BE Civil pass out from VCET in the year 2017 with CGPI of 8.81. He has cleared CEPT entrance exam as well as GATE exam in the year 2017 and 2018 respectively. He is right now doing Masters of Urban Transport System, that is Transport Planning, from CEPT, Gujarat. Apart from being a very intelligent and helpful person, he is a fighter Going through the difficult times, he is now excelling because he has never given up. I request Nishant to take over the session here on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pooja ma'am, for giving these opportunities. So I hope everyone doing very well. So yeah, in this pandemic, I know these students are facing and they are worried about their future. So let me tell you, just relax, just enjoy your quarantine time. Everything will happen at that time. So I'll just start with my presentation. So yeah, uh, just a minute. Yeah. So this is Nishant Sawant here. I'm from Mumbai. So talking about my journey from the diploma to a degree, I actually did not wanted to do civil engineering from the after the 10th, but I accidentally landed into the civil engineering, that too in the VJTI college. Then I pursued my bachelor's in civil engineering from Vidyavardhini College. Then you can see there is a 1 year gap that I will explain later why I took that gap for my master's. And then I pursued I completed my master's in urban transportation system from CEPT University at Ahmedabad. So after bachelor's, these are the options which I discovered for going ahead. That the one that ME or MTech, which from IITs, NITs, government colleges, or private colleges. Then there was a GRE which was not in my list. Then a government exam like MPSC, UPSC, both the civil engineering services and the civil engineering and civil services, and other exams like PWD, BMC, and whatever there are. Then give the GATE exam for the PSU to pursue the ME or MTech, and then the MBA like the Darshak and the Ashutosh has explained you. Then there is one also option called PG diploma courses for the 1 or 2 year diploma courses in urban planning, in real estate, and whatever you call, or rather than doing the job and the site work and the office work. But later I decided to do the MPlan. That is a very new for you, and I know that it was same thing was happened to me. That I was not aware about this new field that is called MPlan. So the major question is why I decided to go for the planning. The sky, the very famous quote, the sky has no limits. So we are the civil engineers. So we are not limited to one house, building one house or building one road or the bridge. We have the capability that we can build or we can shape the whole cities. So why are we limiting ourselves to just one building or the one small project if we can build one whole cities? So that for that I have decided to go for the planning. So my fellow classmate, my parents told me, this is no field, we have no experience, we have no contacts in this, so you just do like the structurals and the construction management. But from bottom of my heart, I wanted to do something new, which is the town planning. So the listen to everyone, but do what your heart says to you, because no one knows you better than yourself. So yeah, why I decided to take gap and what I did in that period. So I don't wanted to compromise my career because I was very clueless which field should I go to pursue my masters. So initially I shortlisted construction management and the environmental engineering, but my interest was not there. I later realized that. Then I came to know that there is a one field called urban planning, but that was very late that the admission was closed for the many universities. So there was no option to wait for a 1 year and to go. So, but I don't want to compromise that. Then I had to take the gap. So in that gap, I explored the many universities which are offering this course and their requirements also. I talked with the many alumni from the different university to understand better about that university, because the alumni can only tell you what exactly is there, because the site will on the website they will show you the very good part of the university, but the actual part you will come to know from the alumni also. For that I use the Quora and the LinkedIn app. Then I decided which university and which course I had to apply. Then I did my academic portfolio, I'll show you later. Then I learned software, and then I discovered the career opportunities. The very famous quote that the more you get, the better you get. And yes, I got the better. So you are all about wondering what is urban planning. But it is a process of the planning and redesigning any city or new or existing city, considering the development of the land use, transport, environment, air, infrastructure, and the human being. So these are the sectors of the urban planning, like the land use planning. This is the mother of the urban planning. It covers everything like infrastructure, regional, environmental, housing, transportation, everything. And later on, if you want to do a specific in the urban planning, then you can go for the infrastructure planning. That will cover the sewage treatment, and the sanitation part that related to infrastructure that comes here. In the regional planning, I will later tell you what is the regional planning also. And the environmental planning, you can see the environmental is degrading day by day, and you have to plan for the better environment. So it comes in here. So housing planning, I will later tell you, and the transportation planning, which I choose for the masters. Yeah, these are the factors like the population growth of the city, economic growth, climatic condition, industrial development, and the commercial sectors are affected by the planning, and vice versa. These factors also affected these factors like population growth also affected the planning, and the planning also affected the population growth and the economy of the city. So these are the different sectors. You can see the land use planning. So land use planning is basically you have to demark the area, like which is the residential area, which is the commercial area, because you cannot just build any office or any green park or any industries everywhere you want to. There are the certain regulations you need to do. You need to follow that. So in the land use planning, these regulations are comes. And in the transportation planning, you can later tell you in detail what is the transport planning. And in housing, yes, you can see in the Mumbai city also, like there are the various typology of the houses, like from the building, from the high-rise building to the low-rise building to the slums and to the row houses and to the big bungalows. So you all need to plan for the very poor persons also and very rich families also. You have to take care of them. So what is the transport planning, which I did is transport planning. So basically it covers everything which is there on the road. So the majorly you can see the public transport, which is the metro, rail, bus. You have to plan everything of the public, the planning, operation, and the maintenance. So it has a very wide scope in the public transport. Then there is the intermediate public transport. That is the intermediate public transport is the auto, taxi, and the Ola. It is called as the IPT because we are just kind of owning that vehicle for a particular time and for the particular route. So it also covers the private vehicles, the rules and the regulation of private vehicles. It also covers the safety of the pedestrian which are walking on the road. It also covers the street infrastructure like the street lamps and the benches and everywhere like green cover area on the road. It also covers the freight vehicles, which are the major contributing part of the economy of our cities. And it also covers it also relates to the directly and indirectly related factors, which are directly in transport industries, like electric mobilities. So if you look into the current scenario, like the pollution is increasing day by day. So the world is going for the electric vehicles, and that for the electric mobility is a new field which is booming around. And it also includes the road safety and the accident part of the transportation. So for that, which I discovered at cities, for universities as follows, like the Center of Environmental Planning and the Technology, that is the CEPT University at Ahmedabad. And then the School of Planning and Architecture, you can call as the IIT of the Planning and the Architecture College, which are there in Delhi, Bhopal, and the Vijayawada. And there is one well-known college of the College of Engineering, Pune. You all are aware about that. It also provided one planning courses. So this is the very comparison of all these courses. The CEPT and the COP has online process, and but SPA you have to fill your form manually and you have to post your form to through the courier. And you can see the CEPT has a very high fee as compared to this SP and the COP, because the SP and the COP are the government autonomous college, and the CEPT is a deemed university. The tentative dates of the applications are the CEPT starts application from the Feb, and the SP also start in the Feb and the March only. And the COP start at the early late, like the June or the July, after the completion of the universities and the exams of the universities. You can get, if you're a GATE scholar, you can get a stipend in SP or the COP college. There is no stipend thing in CEPT college. But yeah, you can get a pre-admission and the post-admission scholarship. Yeah, I did get a pre-admission scholarship of 25% in the CEPT university. Yeah, the eligibility criteria, you need to have the one of the following degrees in your hand, like that is a bachelor in engineering technology, civil engineering, or whichever related to that. And these are the some degrees that can also apply for that. The minimum requirement for this course is you should have minimum 55% mark for the general category and 50% for the reserve category also. So the courses offered by this university are the CEPT offers you the various courses like the urban planning, urban transport system, infrastructure, and the housing. These are comes in the faculty of the planning. But there is also one department called MTech. So there are the courses like construction engineering and the management, MTech in structural designing and engineering, MTech in geometric, which is a very new field and which is also growing rapidly, and MTech in building engineering and the performance. SPA Delhi and Bhopal and the Vijayawada offers urban planning, urban environmental planning, urban transportation, regional planning. Yeah, regional planning is what you, in land use planning, you are just limited to one city, I think. But in regional planning, you are just planning at the whole region, like MMRDA region, like the Mumbai metropolitan region, the MMRDA is planning, that is the regional planning, and the housing. And there is one course called MTech in town and country planning. So I'll tell you that MTech in town and country planning, it covers all the courses like the transportation, some part of the transportation, some part of the infrastructure, some part of the housing. Yeah, but if you want to do specific in the transportation, then yeah, you can choose any of the courses. So yeah, these are the very different universities. They have their own methods of the admissions. For the CEPT University, yeah. So they take the admission from the online application from their own website. Then if you have to fill the whole form, there is a very big form. So you have to fill that form and then you have to wait for the shortlist. Then you will call for the group discussion. Then for the group discussion, you will give a topic which is related to day-to-day life or in the current affairs. There will be the like formal discussion for the 15 to 30 minutes. Then the personal interview. They will ask you, why do you want to join this course? Like, what are your career goals and why are you interested in this course? And then wait for the offer letter. And in SPA Delhi and the Bhopal and the Vijayawada, you have to do offline applications. You have to send your DD also with them and then wait for the shortlist. And they will just screening test. Then they will just take a small test like the basic of the planning. If you know the basic of the planning, then you will easily crack the test. And the personal interview and the wait for the offer letter. And for the COEP, that is a very common admission. You can do that the same we did in the bachelor's online application on the DT, then select and apply for the course and the wait for the merit list. So these are the documents which I needed for my admission, that the mark sheets of the secondary school, higher secondary and the undergraduate, the statement of purpose, letter of recommendation, resume, portfolio, but that is not mandatory, but I'll suggest you made one portfolio for you. So living and the migration certificate, extracurricular activities, and the job experience. So these, but you know, these three factors, these three documents, statement of the purpose, resume, and the portfolio, you are not aware about it. But the mark sheet, letter of the recommendation, these are the documents you just can't change. You just can't change your marks. You just can't change the job experience letters. But the statement of purpose, the resume, the portfolio, that are in your hand. That how do you make this? The better your chance for the getting the admission for that. So the following are the main factors which I wanted to tell you about the statement of the purpose, that is called SOP. It should clearly tell you the why do you want to join this program? What are your interests? So what are your career objectives, the long-term goals and the short-term goal of by doing this course, and how this program will help you in your career and the objective goals to achieve in your life. Then if you have any related academic projects or the professional experience that are suitable, that are relevant to the transport, that are relevant to the planning field, and making the suitable candidate for this program, then please list that courses in that, list that projects in your SOP. And lastly, why do you want to join this course? Because everyone, there are the like hundreds of the applications and there are the limited seats of the 10 to 12 seats. So you have to be the top into the top 12. So you have to tell them why do you want to join this university. And for the resume, it should be short and the simple. It should not be except from the 2 or 3 pages, but it should cover your entire journey for considering academic and the work experience also. So coming to the life at the CEPT, yeah, before going to the CEPT, I was not aware about what is a CEPT or what is a studio learning, because when I got my timetable, so there was a studio. The Monday is full of studio. The Wednesday is full of studio. Now, what is a studio? I was not very pata bhi nahi tha ki what is a studio. So the studio learning is a field exposure and the real life experience. If I am doing a project for any city, I'm doing a project for any topic, then they will assign me a one city. Then I have to do site visit. I have to do the field interaction with the people. I have to do the meetings with the committee. So to get to know more about the city, then I have to complete my project. So yeah, that was a really nice experience because we are working on the ground and we are getting things done by our hand and we are getting so many contacts from them. Yeah, the third point is the jury and the presentation. That is a very big because you know this is the same thing, but it has a very some minute difference in that. in engineering, we just give the presentation. That after the presentation, the faculty appreciate our work. That is a good work and all, and you have done excellent work, and they say that. But in the jury, when you're presenting in a planning field, you don't expect to, any of your faculty will say it's a good work. They will criticize your work. If you have done 100 of good things, but you are lacking 1 or 2 points, they will just point out to them, because they are preparing you more for the real world, because they just want you to do the perfect. So they will just criticize your work, because if you're doing something, they will criticize more and more. So yeah, there is a teamwork. So you will get to work in a team. So you will get how to work in a team. Yeah, there was no exams in CEPT exams. Yeah, but it depends. Like some faculty took the quiz as per their choice, and but there is a hell lot of submission and a hell lot of presentation. You have to present. You have to submit it every week. Yeah, there is a cultural diversity. The people from the different cities, people from the different state, even from the different countries, learn from them. So my classmates from the like the architectural background, they are very good in the design, and we are from the civil engineering. Yeah, we are not about the designing part of it, and but we are technically sound. But they are in technically they are sound in the design. Then there is a one course also B planning also. There is a bachelor's of planning. The people from bachelor's of plumbing also there. There is one summer winter school kind of opportunity in the CEPT, which I would like to tell you about. The CEPT offers you the summer winter school. That is, you can do a small workshop as a part of your academic in different sectors, like day-to-day life sector, like in your particular field. Like you can do anything which is about that. So the summer winter school, which is held at the CEPT only, you can do that course in cities anywhere in India also. And if you are ready to pay, then you can go abroad further. For my summer winter school, I did one course from the Ladakh for the community learning, and I did one course from the Sri Lanka, that is for the coastal region planning. Yeah, that was a very good experience, and a very good other field which are not related to the transport planning and from the urban planning. So I got the exposure from the different fields also. And in the CEPT, I learned how to research. They will just give you the one topic, like as per my experience for my academic, they just the ma'am came and just you can, Nishant, you have to just do the economic analysis of the Vadodara city. But what is economic analysis? What should I do? So I was not aware about this. You have to do something. So you have to explore many documents. Then you will learn how to do the research. Yeah, the experience in the planning field. I will like to clear that the engineering and the planning are the very different field. The engineering is more about the technical thing, and the planning is more about is the combination of the technical and the designing field. You will learn how to write the report. You will learn how to write the presentation. The presentation skill, the portfolio concept. Will get the on-field experience of the live project for the academic studios. Yeah, the main thing that is it for the planning is the importance of the deadlines. So no faculty will entertain your submission after deadlines. If you are submitting on the time, they will just take. If you are submitting just 1 minute late, they will just fail you in that exercise, and that might fail you in the course also. And yes, the last and the most important point is the content and the composition of the presentation, which I realize that we are the engineers, we are just very concerned about the content. What should I add in my PPT? But we are not really concerned about the composition of the presentation. We just put everything in a haphazard manner, like this. I have done this. I have done this. We are just putting those things. But yes, we need to compose the whole sheet or the whole presentation that the someone can easily interpret that things. So yeah, which I learned from the CEPT and the planning experience. Yeah, these are some important software you should know if you're planning for the urban planning. So the Microsoft Office, this software you need everywhere, like the Word, PowerPoint, and the Excel. Excel is one of the important factor in a job. You can ask anyone else. AutoCAD, the basic of the AutoCAD. If you know the Photoshop, you can improvise the composition and the beautification of the shades. And also there is one software called GIS, which is currently coming in the picture. Like the GIS is a very important software for the mapping of the cities and the mapping of the elements of the cities. So which is one of the important factors. All the planning and all the representation of this planning things are done on the GIS only. Then there is a SketchUp for the beautification of the also. There's some important sites and the application you should know, that is a Quora and the LinkedIn and the Glassdoor. I just want to tell you my experience for the planning. मेरे पास कोई source नहीं था for the planning because this was a very new field for me. So I downloaded the Quora and the LinkedIn app at the initial. So I just searched for the hashtag urban planning and hashtag transportation planning. Then I saw that there are various number of the things which are already there on the urban planning things. So I contacted with the few of the seniors from the few of the alumni of the different colleges, and then I talked with them like how is the admission process and what should I do to crack that exams and to get the more better understanding of the university and the admission process. And there is a one Glassdoor application for the job opportunities also. This is a glimpse of my work which I did in the second semester. Yeah, these are the maps which are made on the ArcGIS software. These are my part of the urban freight issues and the proposal. So what I was doing on the identify the issues which are related to the urban freight and to provide the suitable measures which and proposal for the smooth and the planning and the smooth moving of the freight vehicles in and around the city. So yeah, in the third semester, we did the financial analysis and the business development idea also. The MBA people do the financial modeling. Same, yeah, we also do the financial modeling for the same. This was a startup kind of thing that our faculty has introduced to. So we did the small entrepreneurship kind of thing. So for my thesis part of it, I did the performance assessment of the public transport system, a case study of BST. The main research question was why BST is losing the ridership. Like what are the main factors and what are the main reasons of this the ridership loss. So I did the survey and I did the site visit and I did the meetings with the BST official. That was a very good experience, and to the BST also. Yeah, the main question was what are the career opportunities in the urban planning. So I will tell you there is a huge scope of these in the urban planning and the transportation planning. The big four companies which are the dream of the most of the students. I want to get placed into the one of the big four companies. PwC, Deloitte, EY, KPMG are the regular recruiter of our urban planning, and they provide you the package of the average of 6 to 7 lakh for the course. And there are the top engineering MNC because some engineering companies are also working on the transportation and the planning things also. So there is AECOM, Atkins, WSP, and the Lee Associate, which are doing the urban planning also and the transportation planning. And yes, if you want to go for the government opportunities, there is a CIDCO which regularly recruit the urban planners and the transport planner for their projects because they are in the smart cities development. And yes, there is MMRDA also, which is my dream to get into the MMRDA for the as my career. Yes, there is a Delhi Development Authority. Yes, MPAC also has recruited around 200 of the assistant town planner last year through their exams. So yes, I'll conclude my PPT. You can contact me if you have any, but I will just want to share you what is a portfolio thing, because yesterday also the people were talking about you should make your portfolio better. So recruiter or the faculty you should be one of the brightest student for the year. So just a minute. This is it visible?
Yes, Nishant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this was the first portfolio which was made by me. So I was not aware of what is the portfolio thing. So I did my best to do. So this will cover your entire information about the academics, your entire information about your personal information, also your language skills, your professional skills, your software skills also. So your achievements also, yes, it includes also your hobbies also. And what are the academic projects you have done in your bachelor's, diploma, and your entire life you can add to the portfolio also. Though this was the surveying, you all know what is the surveying, and this is surveying projects. This was my diploma project. This was my traffic survey, which I included for the reason because I wanted to go for the transportation planning. So yeah, so you have to show the skills which are related to it. So this was the one survey and the one study which I did in a bachelor's as well as in our diploma study. So that's why I put that thing in my portfolio. This was the one small model we did in with VCT for the one exhibition for the Indira Gandhi International Airport. This was a very basic for the airport infrastructure. This was my final year thesis for the diploma project. Yes. And these are the building design drawing, because the planning things need designing from the people designing programs. So you should showcase your designing drawings also. And these are the site visits. These are the some hobbies which I had, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nishant. It was an excellent session. Your focus and determination is something that people should learn from you. It's amazing to see your growth. Thank you so much. I would request all our presenters to on their video and audio and come on the platform. Thank you to all the presenters of today's session. I hope the variety of the content that you three have delivered will definitely help our budding engineers. Moving forward, let me tell you that we have huge number of viewers on YouTube and the live chat is full of appreciations and questions. So now we will have the question answer session from the participants. Our first question is to Nishant from Samiksha. Tell us about the entrance exam, the syllabus, the question paper, or any link of the question paper for entrance exam.
Oh, okay. Hello, Samiksha. So there is no syllabus for the entrance exams. For that, you have to research for the what is that urban transportation system. What are the basics of the transportation planning? What are the basics of the infrastructure planning? Which is the course we are applying. You have to know the basic of that course. Like for in SPA and in SPA, they took the exam for the admission. So yes, for they ask whether you know the which are the public transport mode, which is the IPT mode, why the transportation is important for your city, the transportation, why transportation affect the economy of the city. Yeah, these are the basic kind of question they ask for the test. So you should have the general idea about the field and the planning field.
Thank you so much, Nishant. Our next question is to Darshak from Sawant. He's asking that I want to pursue project management, but it is said that HR, finance are the dominant branches. So what do you think comparing about the different MBA branches?
Hi, Swanand. So I feel like project management and HR or finance or whatever other branches that you mentioned are two ends of a string. So these are completely different domains. So if you think that your interest lies into project management, then you can definitely pursue project management. However, if you feel that if you would study HR, finance, marketing, operations, or any of the other or specializations in MBA that are there out there, and if you think that your interest would lie out there, then you can probably go for it. So it completely depends upon your interest and in which direction do you want to take your career into. Probably then you can decide better.
Thank you so much, Darshak. Our next question is to Ashutosh from Omkar. What opportunities does mechanical people have in NICMAR?
Mechanical people can apply. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Omkar, for asking us a question. So mechanical people, as I said earlier, that mechanical people has an opportunity for pursuing this project engineering management. The mechanical industries which recruits these project engineering professionals, basically these mechanical engineers are from the various sectors like oil, energy, oil and gas, petroleum and energy itself. And the companies like Hilti, Bechtel, and also L&T Hydrocarbon, and also companies from UAE itself come to NICMAR and recruit these mechanical engineers, because these are the companies which requires some of the technical knowledge for management of the project, mechanical technical knowledge to be specified for managing the projects. So these companies come to NICMAR and recruit the mechanical people, but there's this that some of these companies also they give an opportunity to experienced guys itself, and that's it. The mechanical engineers can work in this company. These companies are very renowned and very account companies.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. Our next question is to Darshak from Pranav. Is joining a coaching for CAT a must? Does it have an added advantage? If yes or no, then why? Can the exam be cracked without just self-study?
Hi, Pranav. Thank you for the question. About coaching, so it entirely depends on you, how strong your basics are. CAT is just a test of your basics that you've studied up to 10 standard. So if you're good and strong with your maths basics, if you're good with English, your grammar, vocabulary, and you have a good reading speed or probably habit of reading, then probably you do not require coaching. However, if you are not very comfortable with all of these subjects, and if you think that you need a kind of brush up and if that would help in performing better, then probably you can go for coaching. So it depends on you. A better way to test this would be to attempt a mock test. So there are several free mock tests which are available on Google. So you can simply write a mock test, and depending upon your performance, depending upon how you are actually able to solve the questions, you would probably know your strengths and weaknesses, and then probably you can decide as to whether you require coaching or not.
Okay, thank you, Darshan. Our next question is to Nishant. What kind of job will you get after doing this CEPT course in transport planning?
Yeah, there are the various kind of jobs profiled in their transportation planning. Like for the transportation planning, basically the transport planner, what he does is like the planning the whole system. So if we're doing the metro line, if we're planning for the metro line, so we need to do the preliminary analysis and the planning of that metro thing. The where should the metro come and where are the suitable stops. So you need to do the various analysis of that. So yes, there are the transportation manager post, there are the transport planner post, there are the transport modeler post, there are the transport engineer post, and there are the n number of companies which are hiring for this post. In the current situation, in the current pandemic, also yes, the transportation industry is also hiring for the transportation manager, transportation planners for their project, because the transport industry has not as much affected because of this pandemic, because the transportation is the main domain, because everyone needs to travel for their job, everyone needs to travel for their living purpose also. So that is the main thing which government is investing the more money in the transportation and the infrastructure planning. Yeah, so there are the various kind of job opportunities in the transportation.
Okay, thank you so much, Nishant. Our next question is from Swanand to Ashutosh. NICMAR has around 18 lakhs fees, and the average placement is around 6 lakhs for freshers. Is this ROR justified?
I'll NICMAR definitely has a huge and hefty amount of fees. I would rather say that, but the certificate you will get after the graduating from this course has definitely demand in the market. You'll get a good job. Definitely, you will not get good. So as a fresher, you will get a minimum package of 6 to 7 lakhs, depending upon your technical capabilities and your communication skills as well. And depending upon your past academic scores as well. There's a criteria for certain companies. They have a criteria of themselves that they recruit. Depending on the criteria, they shortlist those they shortlist those candidates and take the interview of themselves. So they definitely have some criteria. So you get a package around 6 to 7 lakhs. But nevertheless, that NICMAR has definitely NICMAR certificate has an great demand in market. So if you are an NICMARite, you will definitely have a great future ahead. Firstly, your package will be low, but you will definitely progress in your near future.
Okay, thank you so much, Ashutosh. Our next question is to Darshak. What should be the study plan or the procedure to crack any competitive exam?
Okay, so this is kind of a tricky question. I guess be it any competitive exam that you're planning to appear for, planning and actually making a chart of your preparation is very important. So first you need to go through the syllabus and the contents that you need to study for that exam, and probably then looking out at the time that you have for preparation, you can probably plan as to how much amount of time could be allotted to each of the components of your syllabus. Since I have appeared for CAT, I would be a better person to guide you through CAT preparation, and then probably you can map it to your exam that you are planning to apply for. And for CAT, if I would say that it is the earlier you start, you better. So even if you start today for CAT 2020, so CAT always happens in the last Sunday of November. So you have around 6 to 7 months in your hand. So for the initial 2 to 3 months, you may focus on your basics and brush up your basics and do fine with it. Then probably you can start giving your sectional tests, that is different tests or separate tests for VRC, DILR, and quants, and the integrated test also. Start analyzing your tests or tests or mocks, and from that you'll come to know as to which are the areas that you need emphasis to be applied on. So then probably you can refine those areas and again apply for mock, and by the time you reach the exam you would have probably be done with all the kind of questions that you might be exposed to, and that could be more or less your study plan. However, the study plan could not be a concrete plan for every one of us. It depends on our pace of learning and our way of responding to questions. So it might differ from each one of you. What might have worked for me might not work for you. So you need to make a plan according to your abilities and competence, and then probably go about it.
Thank you so much, Darshak. Again, the next question is to Darshak from Pranav. Would you suggest the material for CAT preparation? What books and modules do you suggest to a not so beginner student?
Okay. So, hi Pranav, thank you for that question. And about materials, so I would say for VARC, that is Verbal Ability and Reading Comprehension section, you actually do not require any material. All that you require is to have a good reading habit, and the habit of reading not just newspapers or fictions or novels, but you need to have a habit of reading different genres of material. So the best way to start about is to read different articles on, say, philosophy, some on economics, some on, say, history, geography, and also on fiction and daily habits. So there are several sites out there on Google, say one is Aeon, and the Time has also some articles that they publish on everyday basis. So you can go through those articles. You can also read the editorials of some very good newspapers like The Hindu or the Indian Express. And then you probably need to try and understand what the author needs to say. See, if you have a very good vocabulary, or if you're very good at grammar, and you have been a voracious reader, that does not account for a good percentile in VARC. What is tested is your comprehension skills. Are you able to understand what the author wants to say? So having a good reading habit of anything that comes to your disposal, read newspapers, magazines, articles, on whatever you find on Google. So keep on reading, but keep not just keep on reading the same kind of materials, keep on reading a varied kind of material. So whenever you're exposed to any kind of reading comprehension in the exam, you at least need to be familiar with that terminologies and words. Coming to quants, there's one really good book which is Quantitative Aptitude by Arun Sharma. So you can follow that book. You can also read some coaching materials like Time or Career Launcher. So they have their own coaching materials, and the coaching material provided by Time is really good. So you can either go for Arun Sharma or the quant coaching material by Time for quants. And for DILR, you can, the best way is to solve as many sets as you can. You can have sets from previous year CAT papers, or any of the coaching materials that you get out in the market. So that is not of much importance as to which coaching material do you actually refer to. The importance is that how many different kind of questions that you see before actually attempting a question. So you can also, if you do not want to actually buy some material, you can also search out for some DILR sets on Google. You'll have ample number of examples out there. You can try and solve those examples. A habit to follow is to do 2 reading comprehensions per day, 2 DILR sets per day, and solve about 50 to 60 quantitative ability questions per day. So if you have this kind of a timetable in mind, then you can probably do wonders in your exam.
Thank you so much, Darshak. Our next question is to Ashutosh. There are different streams in NICMAR. So how to choose amongst them?
Choosing NICMAR, different stream in NICMAR, that totally depends upon your interest, where your interest really lies in. If you want to do a construction management job, so you can go for advanced construction management. If you are from means you have to do a project manager, you want to be a project manager, you want to involve in that project from right from start itself, you can pursue this project management. If you're looking in real estate, if you're looking in infrastructure finance, then you have various courses for it. And also for smart city and quantitative survey, we also have that courses in NICMAR. So it totally depends upon your interest, where your interest really lies in.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. Our next question is to Nishant. What are the subjects in transport planning and which BE subjects knowledge is important for them?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
What are the subjects in transport planning and which BE subjects knowledge are important for them?
The subjects in the transportation planning are the very new. I think there was hardly there is some course like the transportation engineering which we learned in the bachelor's in the engineering. So yeah, in the transportation engineering we are just focusing on the engineering aspect of the metro, engineering aspect of the roads, engineering aspect of the bridges. So we are just familiar with those terms. So the planning fields that is not there in the engineering. So the planning fields of the planning background of these roads and the metros and the bridges and the highways, which is there in the, as there are the subjects like the economy of the transportation, how the transportation can affect the economy of the city. Yes, there is a freight management, there is a public transport, which is one of the most important subject of the study. As there is a transport infrastructure, because we are not just planning the transportation system, we are also designing the system, we are designing the station, multimodal hubs also. So yeah, there is one also that subject also. There's a freight management, because the freight is one of the plays vital role in the economy. So yeah, we need to manage those freight system also. So there is one subject called urban economy, because the whole system also affect the economy of the whole country. So there are the legislation, there are the rules and the regulations in the planning, because we are not doing as per our perspective. We have to do according to the rules and the regulations which are already there. So you need to follow those rules, and we need to follow those regulation and to plan a better city for the people who are actually using for this. So yes, there are the many subjects, and the subjects there are the subjects like electric mobility also, which is a new subject. So that the subjects and the syllabus is also revising day by day, because the field is increasing and the topics are also coming new. So yeah, these are the main major subjects which I had in my masters.
Thank you so much, Nishant. Our last question is from Shaswat to Darshak. I am in third year civil engineering. I don't know what should I do. Go for civil engineering job or an MBA or MBA.
Okay, so if you are Shashwat, if you are adamant about taking your career in the civil engineering domain, then you can quickly look out for some jobs in the civil engineering market. And if not, then if you think that you can do better if you do an MBA in any of the fields that are available in MBA, that is finance, HR, operations, marketing, etc., then you can probably start preparing for your CAT, because since you are in your third year of engineering, this is the right time to prepare for CAT. It actually depends on you and also on the opportunities that you have at your disposal. So if there are some really good opportunities coming in from the civil engineering domain, then I would suggest you go about it. But if you think that there are not very good opportunities that you have in your hand, and you can do better if you do an MBA, then you can go for it.
Okay, thank you so much, Darshak. So here we come to an end for the question answer session by the participants. Moving forward, we will have an interaction with the faculties of our department. Our first question is from Jaideep Chaugule, sir. So here to you, sir.
Hello. My question is to Mr. Ashutosh. My first question is, do you think that joining NICMAR is like restricting your other jobs?
No, sir, I don't really feel that joining NICMAR is restricting your other jobs, because if your interest really lies within that course, you're doing what you really want to do. So after graduation, you're pursuing what you want to do, not others, where your interest really lies in. So I don't think that restricting other jobs is that kind of thing, because ultimately you're going to do the job in which you are really interested in. So there may not be the possibility that the other jobs may come in picture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ashutosh. I will start with my question to Darshak. How will the 4 years of civil engineering help you in MBA?
Actually, I haven't yet started with my MBA, so I actually do not know how will it help me in my MBA. But yes, how has these 4 years of engineering helped me in my job career or the preparation for MBA? Is I would say civil engineering is a very rigorous course. So what you predominantly learn from it is time management. So you have a lot of assignments, you have a lot of sheets to be made. Apart from that, you have a lot of subjects per semester as compared to the counterparts who are studying in, say, information technology or computer background. So this time management is one of the major factor in management studies. So how do you manage your time? If you cannot manage your time, how will you manage your workforce? So time management is what civil engineering has probably given me, which I will take along through my management journey.
Thank you so much, Darshak. And I really want to know, where do you see yourself after 10 years, say 5 or 10 years later? I really want to know. Not just me, many of our participants do want to know about it.
Okay, so this is a frequently encountered question for me, even if it comes to the PI interviews that I have attended for the management schools. So 10 years from now, I actually do not have much interest in establishing my own business, but yes, I definitely see myself as one of the MDs of a very renowned and multinational corporate. I do not have any company in mind right now. But yes, I see myself as one of the managing directors or someone who has taken a really high post in one of the major or multinational corporates, not just in India, but across the globe.
Okay, thank you so much, Darshak. Now I will request Jignesh sir to start with the question answers session here again.
Good evening, everyone. My question is for Nishant Sawant. Would you like to enlighten on the part like how development of the transportation system impacts on the economy of the country?
Yes, the economy of the uh, the people we are working, that are the building our economy of the city, which is there in the medical sector or the engineering sector and every sector. But these people need to travel to reach their offices. So the transportation, yes, the Mumbai city, if we consider the Mumbai city, so yes, the city is more populated and the more congested cities. We also know that. So yeah, uh, the thing is that we need to we need to plan our cities in such that the less time is spent in the traveling and the more time is spent in the working. So yes, the economy of the city and the country is also affected by the transportation also.
Uh, Thank you, which brings me to another part of this question, which is what transportation system will you suggest for Mumbai and what are the other alternatives? Because as we know, Mumbai is very crowded right now with the traffic. So what do you think the alternatives can be?
That was a very nice actually question, sir. So because we all know that the Mumbai is one of the, I think in India there is only one city, the Mumbai, which has a multiple mode of the transportation. Like Mumbai has suburban rails, Mumbai has the BST buses, Mumbai has metro rail, and they are just constructing the other metro lines also. It also has a monorail. But the planning, the transportation is not just building the system anywhere or the everywhere. So you need to plan the cities, like you need to integrate the modes, you need to integrate the things so that the transportation becomes seamless for the people who are using it. So for if you see that if I'm taking bus to reach the station, railway station, so I need to buy the ticket for the BST buses, then I will have to wait for the queue to take the ticket from the suburban rail. Then if I want to take the train metro, then I also have to take the token for the metro. So there is a lot of time which is wasted in the ticketing system. So yes, there is a one integrated, the proper integration. the proper physical integration should be needed, and the proper institutional framework should be there. So the BST is running on their own, the metro is running on their own, running by the MMRD, and the suburban rail is also running by the Indian Railway. So these are the things which are running independently, but the purpose of this system is to cater the demand of the public. So yes, so there is a proper integration, physical integration as well as the institutional integration to cater the need, not to compete each other to get the more revenue. So that is why the people are not satisfied with the system, because the Mumbai is expanding day by day. You can see the people are traveling to the Dahanu, people are traveling to the Navi Mumbai, even to the Pune or the Panvel for their work. So there's a lot of the time is spent in the traveling also. So yes, the proper seamless integration is needed, and the people have started using private vehicles because there is a lack of the integration. So yeah, the proper integration is needed to the for the better cities of the India.
Thank you, Nishant, and thank you, Jignesh sir. Now I would request Viren sir to take over this question answer session.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I just want to not ask. I just want to suggest our all participants to all the speakers what they have to do or not to do during their pursuing their Bachelor of Engineering. So please suggest some suggestion or correction, whatever. Please suggest all three participants.
So can you please repeat the question?
I just want to suggest some suggestion about what to do during their Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Civil Engineering, or during their graduation course. What to do exactly for become to get admission, and all these suggestion, not question, suggestion to all the participants.
So I would request Darshak to start with it.
Yes, start. Darshak, start.
Okay, so during your bachelor's, your prime focus should be on your academics. So just as all of us mentioned that during your master's, there is some weightage which is given to co and extracurricular activities, but that should not be your primary goal. Your primary objective should be your academics. And when I talk about academics, a lot of us also refer to TechMax, and I do not know if they are still available or not, but such kind of reference material. So that is not to be referred. Please refer books which are written by some really good authors on that subject. That will actually help you in improvising your knowledge, and will also help you further if you go for, say, GATE preparation, IES, or some kind of that. Even since I have moved out to an IT corporate, I'm currently working in IT corporate, and probably I would go into pursuing an MBA in completely different field. But I have never referred to TechMax or any kind of that material. I have always sticked to reference materials which were written by the authors, which were suggested by the faculty members, because that helps in actually forming your basics and probably producing better answers into your exams. Apart from that, it is not just academics that you need to focus on. You should also go for some activities apart from it, but you need to have a good balance of it. It's if you indulge a lot into co and extracurricular activities and take it all at your academics, like if you have done a lot of co and extracurricular activities, but you get a KT in one of two subjects, that is not recommended. But if you have good pointers and you have the ability to manage both your academics and co and extracurricular activities, then definitely you could have a good balance of it, which will also reflect nicely on your resume. And also during your pre-penultimate and penultimate year, you should start thinking of your career prospects. So not just that I will do this 4 years of engineering and then probably decide as to what is to be done next, but as you progress through your 4 years, you should also weave path for your next years or future years. So what you need, what you want to do, where your interest lies, all of these things need to be figured out during your second or third year of engineering, and probably your fourth year should be invested into paving your way towards building your future. So that is what I would say. I would pass it on to Ashutosh.
So Ashutosh, you can add to it.
Yeah. So as Darshak said, it's very important to know what you want to do after your completing your graduation, before you complete your graduation degree, while you are in graduation itself. So I would like to suggest that communication skills as well as your technical knowledge should be very strong. Communication skills will definitely help you through the interview process of the bigger companies, and also your technical knowledge should be very thorough. You should be thorough with your technical knowledge. The basics should be clear, and I would really suggest that keep a good contact with your seniors, and consult with your faculty members, consult with your guide related to the what are the career opportunities. You might not be knowing about various colleges. Your teachers and faculty members would be really guide you with all the other institutes, all the other exams, and all the other master courses they might know. And also the seniors who are pursuing that course may also guide you. So keep good contact with your seniors, and also sharpen your technical knowledge and thorough your communication skills. Those are very important while in after graduation. And communication skills are the really are the key thing you have to work on. Like in interview, those are the very these things are very prioritized during an interview, like in GD round, and also in a personal interview. So work on that. You will definitely have a great future ahead.
Over to you, Nishant. We would like your suggestions as well.
Yes, according to the Darshak and the Ashutosh, yes, the academic plays the most important role in the academic grades. Plays the most important role in the admission process. Yes, but apart from the academic, I think the our thesis, are the project, final year project, that also defines our interest. Because in my case, I was not sure about which field I am going to do for in the masters. So yes, so if I had a master's in, I had a thesis regarding the transportation planning in subject or the in other planning courses. So yeah, the my chance for the was the मेरा chance ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता वहाँ पे. Yes. So you should think, or you should think yourself, okay, what you want to do. You should determine your interest in the early stage, because for that, according to interest, you should attend the many conferences, many meetings also, because there you will get the practical knowledge. Because in the university, in the college, you will get get a technical knowledge, because there are the lots of subjects and the lots of technical things, lots of assignments, lots of vivas you will give, because will be busy in those things only. But apart from this, there is a life. So you have to do research for yourself, what you want to do. So that I did not do in my bachelor. So that I have invested my 1 year for that. So yes, I'm happy for that. I have invested my 1 year, and I'm pursuing my master's in urban transportation planning. So that these are the, because I wanted to do internship in the planning courses, because that will help my academics. That will help me in a master's admission. But unfortunately, I did not get. So because but मेरे को और भी internships मिल रहे थे regarding civil engineers. But बोलते हैं ना कि like अगर मेरे को वो चीज चाहिए ही नहीं तो मैं खरीदूंगा क्यों. So same thing happened with me. So because I did not wanted to continue my career with the civil engineering construction. So I did not waste my time. So I invest my time in the learning the software and the learning the things which are new to me. So yes, explore the new things. There is a world outside of the Mumbai. There is a world outside of the Maharashtra which can shape your career in your manner only. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Nishant. Thank you to all our faculty members, and special thanks to our VCET Civil Engineering alumni, our presenter for today's session. So here we come to an end of today's session. I would like to end the session by a famous quote from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir. Difficulties in your life do not come to destroy you, but to keep you realize your hidden potential and power. Let difficulties know that you too are difficult. Now I would request Professor Arbaz Kazi sir to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all. Myself, Professor Arbaz Kazi, on behalf of Department of Civil Engineering at Vidyavardhani's College of Engineering and Technology, take this opportunity to thank our esteemed alumni, Darshak Sureja, Ashutosh Lopes, Nishant Sawant, for sharing valuable inputs and experience about other competitive exams like MBA, urban planning, project management. There was so much learning in today's lecture, which will definitely provide new horizons for our participants and eventually help in their career building. Thank once again for this wonderful session, and to all our viewers for making this session interactive. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe, but keep learning. I'll now request Pooja ma'am to take over from here.
Thank you, Arbaz sir. Thank you to all our presenters, our civil engineering distinguished VCT alumni. It was a pleasure to be a part of your journey. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors. I'm sure all the participants must have loved this session. On behalf of the entire civil engineering department, thank you to all the participants for your overwhelming response. Tomorrow we have the last session, but the special one, which is on preparation for GATE examination. Until we meet again, stay home, stay safe, but keep learning.